Hello, my friends. This video is going to be on writing the equation of or the function given a graph. So before I would start on this, I would suggest to you that you get out your notes on transformations, that you have those handy, and that you also have your notes on parent functions, that you have those handy. Because we're going to use the information in both of those notes to be able to do what is asked of us here today. So when we look at this first function, we notice a couple things. The things that you should notice are, you should notice that it is a quadratic function. Which means its parent is p of x equals x squared. And if that's its parent, then what it's supposed to do, if this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, is it is first supposed to begin at the origin. And if we look at our vertex is not at the origin. Our vertex is at the point -3, 9. So already there's a change. And a quadratic, because it's x squared, is supposed to go 1 unit to the right and 1 unit up. So it's supposed to have the point 1, 1 on it. And then it's supposed to go 2 units to the right. And 2 squared is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. So it's also supposed to have the point 2, 4 on it. Yes. So if we look at our graph, it goes 1 unit to the right, and it does go 1 unit down, just like it's supposed to. It also goes, so thick, 1, 2 units to the right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 units down. So it's traveling like it's supposed to. So it does not have a stretch or a compression, but it is upside down. So it is upside down. So what do we know from that then? We know that it is upside down. You know what? I would rather do that in black to be consistent with what we've done in our notes. And a wee bit larger. There we go. So it's f of x. Excuse me. It's reflected over the x-axis, so it's negative. It's reflected over the x-axis. It has been moved 3 spaces to the left. So if it's been moved 3 spaces left, that means that this has to be a +3. And it has been moved 9 spaces up. So this would have to be a +9. And so when you type it into Canvas, this is what you're going to type. I would point out to you that many students last year put the square inside the parenthesis. And if you put the square inside the parenthesis, it's not correct. So make sure you put the square outside of the parentheses so you are sure to get it correct. Okay. So if we look at this next one, what comes to our mind is that this is an absolute value function. And parents of absolute values are absolute value x. That's the parent. And so if this were the x-axis and this were the y-axis, then first of all, the parent begins at the vertex here, and it does this. And it means it's supposed to go 1 to the right and 1 up. And that would be the point 1, 1. And then it would go 2 to the right and 2 up. And that would be the point 2, 2. And then it would go 3 to the right and 3 up. Oh, it's not going to let me. Fine. Be picky. There we go. We'd go 3 to the right and 3 up, and that would be the point 3, 3. That's how an absolute function is supposed to move, because it has a slope of 1 and it goes through the origin. Okay, ours has a vertex here. And the ordered pair of that vertex is 4, -6. And if we count it, it goes 1 to the right, but it goes 1, 2, 3 up. So we went 1 to the right and 3 up. So that means that it's going to be a stretch of 3. Because it went 1 right and 3 up, and it was supposed to go 1 right and 1 up. So it traveled 3 times faster vertically than it was supposed to. It is more narrow than the parent. It is more narrow than the parent. So we are going to say, let's write all that down. We are going to say that it has a vertical stretch of 3 because it rises 3 times faster than the parent. We are going to say that it is horizontal shift right 4, which means we're going to have a -4. And it has a vertical shift down 6, which is going to be a -6. So the parent then, or the function is f of x equals, it's going to be an absolute value, x absolute value, but it's going to have a 3 in front, it's going to have a -4 inside, and it's going to have a -6 outside. So in Canvas, this is what you're going to type in Canvas. Okay? And the vertical sticks are the letter L. And it tells you that in the directions at the top. So if we look at this, the parent is P of x equals x. That means if this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, P of x equals x. There has a slope of 1 and it goes through the origin. So it goes through the origin and it has a slope of 1. So that means it goes 1 over and 1 up, and that's the point 1, 1. And it goes over 2 and up 2, and that's the point 2, 2, etc. This one doesn't go through 0. It goes through 3. And this one goes 1, 2, 3 spaces down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces right. So, and actually I should have done those in pink, my bad. So it goes down 3 spaces and right 5 spaces. So it has a horizontal stretch, compression, my bad, compression of 3/5. And the reason it's a compression is because it is between 0 and 1. And it also is reflected across the x-axis. So we would have f of x equals x, but we're going to be negative because we're reflected. We're going to be 3/5, and we are going to be plus 3. And you've been doing that through integrated 1 and integrated 2. All right, this one. The parent is p of x equals d square root of x. That's the parent. The parent looks, if this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, the parent is supposed to start at the origin and if it goes over 1, it's going to go up 1, so that's the point 1, 1. But then it's got to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. That's the point 4, 2. And then if there was room for it, we would have the point 9, 3. And that's because the square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3. So this would look like an eyebrow, and it would go this way. It would be this curve. All right? So this one. So first of all, let's talk about this. This beginning point, this starting point, is starting at negative 2, 4. And it's supposed to go 1 down and 1 right, which it looks like it did. And then 2 down and 4 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, which it looks like it did. And then 3 down and 9 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which it did. So this is a normal, so there is no stretch, there is no compression, but there is a reflection over the x-axis because it's upside down. So our function is going to be f of x equals a square root x, and it's going to reflect across the x-axis. It's going to go 2 spaces to the right, I'm sorry, to the left, and it's going to go 4 spaces up. When you type it into Canvas, you are going to have to type f of x equals a negative square root, parentheses, x plus 2, close the parentheses, plus 4. That's what you're going to need to type into Canvas. Because the x plus 2 is in the radical, and we don't have the opportunity on the MacBook to stretch the radical. So we have to say everything in this parenthesis is supposed to be inside the square root symbol. All right, my friends, that is how we do that. And again, knowing your notes on parents and your notes on transformations will help. Have a great day.